Situated in Morgantown, West Virginia University supports over 16,000 undergraduate and graduate students on two campuses, or downtown campus, and the new, or Evansdale campus, the outskirts of the city. The modern architectural style of these living units complements the older, more traditional values of the university's initial era. One of these traditions is Mountaineer football.
Now let's bring on the Mountaineers!
Kodak All-American Danny Buggs spurred the team to numerous victories. Danny, who wears number 8, combined in early season play with quarterback Abe Dillon for catch-and-run plays like this 17-yard gainer against Maryland. In front of the home crowd, Danny snares this 44-yard pass away from a would-be Pitt interceptor. Later in the game, quarterback Chuck Fioretti hits Danny cutting across the middle for 7 yards. At Richmond, Fioretti hits Buggs for 17 yards. The same combination again, this time for 19 yards. Also at Richmond, Buggs gains 30 yards on this pass play. Back at Mountaineer Field against Virginia Tech, Dillon unleashes this pass to Buggs for a 59-yard touchdown. Dillon stays in the pocket and fires this 50-yard touchdown pass to Buggs to seal the victory against Virginia Tech. In all, Danny caught 27 passes for a season total of 624 yards and 5 touchdowns. In view of Danny's success with his patented flanker reverse last season, most of WVU's opponents were prepared for it this year. However, against Richmond, Danny was able to pull off this 21-yard gain. And shortly thereafter, this 35-yard gain for the score. Danny was consistently able to get the big play, as in this 96-yard touchdown catch and run against mighty Penn State, which set a new Mountaineer record. Against Richmond, Danny demonstrates his ability as a punt return specialist, outwitting and outrunning the defense for this 24-yard return. Probably the most exciting play of the year came against Maryland, when with 6 seconds left in the game and West Virginia trailing the Terrapins, Danny took this punt. Changed his field and took the ball 69 yards for a West Virginia victory. This is the type of play that earned Danny All-American recognition and led him to be chosen West Virginia's Amateur Athlete of the Year. Cheerleader captain Debbie Book of New Martinsville demonstrates that even cheerleaders have their ups and downs. The defensive unit showed that it could come up with the big play too, as in this goal line stand against Virginia Tech. On 1st and goal at the 1, linebacker Tom Zakowski stops the first threat. On 2nd down, Zakowski does it again with help from linemen John Adams and Jeff Merrill. On the 3rd down attempt, with only inches to go, Tree Adams makes the initial stop, preventing the touchdown. That made it 4th down and 1 foot to go. But cornerback Charlie Miller of Monongah diagnoses the play and turns it into a 6-yard loss and West Virginia's ball, much to the delight of West Virginia fans and Charlie Miller himself. Maryland bore the brunt of the physical West Virginia defense as Adams stops this play for short yardage. Jeff Merrill and linebacker Bruce Huffman of Polka then double-teamed the ball carrier for a loss of 1. Finally, defensive end Andy Peters drops the runner for another loss and forces Maryland to punt. Against Indiana, John Spraggins of Coalwood reads the screen pass and stops it for a 7-yard loss. Interceptions were a direct result of this type of defensive pressure, as Jeff Merrill forces a bad pass with Tom Zakowski intercepting. Against Virginia Tech, Charlie Miller snagged this hurried pass and returned it for 8 yards. Zakowski drops back into the short zone to make a nice interception out of this Maryland attempt. West Virginia also claimed 22 opponents' fumbles this season, with John Adams establishing an individual career high of 7. John Hartcherrick of Weirton typifies the defensive's aggressive play with this block of a Maryland punt, which set up a WVU touchdown. West Virginia invaded Big Ten territory, meeting the Fighting Illini at Champaign, Illinois. Head coach Bobby Bowden looked on as quarterback Ade Dillon keeps on the option for 5 yards. Then hands off to fullback Mike Nelson of Payton City for a 7-yard gain. Dillon kept the Illinois defense guessing all afternoon with his scrambling ability. This play was hotly disputed by the Illinois team, but the slow-motion camera proves that this pass bounced off the intended receiver and into the arms of quarterback Marcus Money. That play set up this catch and run bomb from Dillon to Buggs for a score. Frank Nestor of Ravenswood kicks the field goal to add yet another record to his growing list. This one for most field goals in a collegiate career. With 3 minutes left and the score tied, Bugs takes this punt 60 yards for the winning score, giving WVU a 17-10 upset win over Illinois and national ranking. Cheerleaders of teams visiting West Virginia were optimistic of victory. Their optimism tended to wane, however, in view of the Mountaineer brand of offense. For instance, take this Dillon to Marshall Mills pass for 20 yards. Next, Dillon to Mills again, this time for a 44-yard running gain. Again, Dillon to Mills, this time over the middle. Marshall makes himself an available target, this time for 12 yards. And again for 16 yards. Mills teams with sophomore quarterback Ben Williams for this 17-yarder. Mills, in his junior year, was the team's second leading pass receiver. The team's leading pass receiver, Dave Jagman, takes a 15-yard pass from Dillon. Flanker John Everly of New Cumberland takes this pass from Chuck Fioranti and turns it into a 21-yard gain. On this play, Fioranti goes back to pass, the ball is tipped by the defense, and Jagman alertly snares it in the end zone. Fioranti again finds Jagman a willing target. West Virginia established its running game with efforts like this by sophomore Dwayne Woods of Bluefield, who takes the pitch out and runs 38 yards for a score. By alternating the offense tactics, West Virginia was able to keep the defense honest. Sophomore Artie Owens takes this pitch out from Dillon and sweeps it around the end for the touchdown. Another sophomore, fullback Mike Hubbard, bulls his way through for 10 yards. Leading rusher Dwayne Woods showed his ability against Richmond, gaining 20 yards on this run. $13 yards. And finally, 22 yards to add to his season total of 818 yards. It wasn't all basic plays, though, as seen by this bit of razzle-dazzle between Danny Bugs and Artie Owens. Taking a reverse handoff from Bugs on a kickoff, Owens runs 95 yards for a touchdown against Penn State. Heading into the last 4 games of the season, West Virginia faced a critical test in their bid for a winning record. The first of these 3 trials was a meeting with highly favored Miami in the Orange Bowl. Mountaineer faithful followed their team south in chartered planes as WVU headed for the land of sunshine. Miami soon regretted their favored position, however, as Jeff Rice recovers this bobbled punt on the Hurricane 12-yard line. Pushed into a starting role by injuries to Fioranti and Dillon, sophomore quarterback Ben Williams takes immediate advantage of the situation, completing this 12-yard touchdown pass to Danny Bugs. Later, Williams finds Jagman in the clear for 21 yards. Shortly thereafter, Williams fakes the handoff to Buggs and keeps the ball himself, running the 4 yards for pay dirt. Williams asserts his running ability with this 50-yard gain on the option play. Dropping back to pass, Ben finds himself trapped and shows his ability to master a situation by breaking loose and running 14 yards for the first down. Going to the air, Williams hits Buggs for a 12-yard gain. Next, Williams finds Marshall Mills in the end zone for the go-ahead touchdown. Freshman punter Chuck Brooks of Huntington shows why the Mountaineers consistently bottle up punt returners with his 36-yard plus kicking average. With Miami threatening in the closing seconds of the game, John Harcheri tips the pass to teammate Jack Eastwood of Nitro to put the game on ice. West Virginia took home its second big upset of the year. The final score, West Virginia 20 and Miami 14. Back home against a tough Boston College team, West Virginia had failed to score in the first half of action. In the second half, WVU begins its move with this pass from Williams to Mills for 13 yards. West Virginia Governor Artie Moore Jr. was in attendance. Tailback Dwayne Woods takes the next handoff for 17 yards. Danny Buggs caps the drive, taking a pitch out 4 yards from a halfback position. Frank Nestor added the point after touchdown that made the score 16-7 in Boston College's favor. West Virginia strikes again on a 65-yard pass from Ben Williams to Danny Buggs, but the Mountaineer push came too late as WVU failed to overtake the high-flying Eagles. A win against neighboring Virginia was a must the next week as Mountaineer coaches prepare their charges for an all-out battle. Assistant coaches Chuck Clausing, Don Young, Frank Signetti, and Alec Gibbs drill their respective squads as head coach Bobby Bowden looks on in anticipation of West Virginia's biggest offensive display of the year. Dwayne Woods racked up 178 yards and 3 touchdowns on this day, beginning with this 34-yard rush early in the game. Followed by a 19-yard scamper. And a 1-yard plunge for WVU's first score. Frank Nestor adds the extra point, setting another Mountaineer record for the most extra point attempts in a career with 98. Woods comes back shortly afterward and carrying 4 defenders into the end zone for his second touchdown. With West Virginia leading early in the second half, Wood breaks one again for 28 yards through the middle of the Virginia defense. Quarterback Ben Williams keeps the drive moving with this 23-yard gain on the option. Dwayne Woods somersaults into the end zone for his third score, putting West Virginia ahead for good. After the defense held back the Cavaliers, Williams hits Dave Jagman for 21 yards. Speedster Artie Owens takes a pitch out on the next play, 22 yards. And Ben Williams caps the drive with a 2-yard keeper. West Virginia regains the ball, and Artie Owens goes 26 yards after a good block from Buggs en route to a 100-yard plus rushing day. Artie Owens skirts right in for his first score on the next play. Owens comes back minutes later, driving 49 yards and breaking 4 tackles to give West Virginia a resounding 42-17 victory and a 5-5 record going into the last game of the season. With the winning season riding on the outcome of the game, West Virginia traveled to rainy Syracuse to meet the Orangemen, led by retiring coach Ben Schwartzwalder. Deep in their own territory, West Virginia's defense forces Syracuse to fumble the ball as Jack Eastwood recovers. West Virginia capitalizes immediately with a 9-yard scoring run by Ben Williams to draw first blood. Early in the second quarter, Williams finds Dave Jagman for 26 yards. And again for 17 yards. And finally, for 13 yards in West Virginia's second touchdown. Both teams found footing slippery in the second half, but Williams keeps his feet for this neat 13-yard gain. And this one, immediately afterward, also for 13 yards. With Syracuse threatening and West Virginia holding a slim 3-point lead, Marcus Money grabbed this interception and returned it 54 yards for the insurance touchdown. Frank Nestor added the point after, and West Virginia had a 24-14 victory and a winning season with a 6-5 record. So the Mountaineers finished the 1973 season on a winning note, the 4th year in a row for Bobby Bowden and his staff. Now the fans must pause and reflect on the good victories and the spirit of the past season. Mountaineer Field will assume a passive role as recruiting and planning structure the look of the 1974 Mountaineers. Time will pass, but soon the excitement of West Virginia football will return again with all the color and flavor that marks major collegiate sports.